ते पडलेले अवशेष आहेत, पण तरी सुद्धा त्याला महत्त्व आहे. एकेकाळी जेव्हा किल्ला नांदता असेल तेव्हा तिथे काहीतरी मोठं इमारत असेल, नैतिक सदर असेल किंवा घराचा राहता वाडा असेल, आज काही सांगू शकत नाही.
In the western Ghats of India, in Raigad district and Alibaug taluka, lies a fort by the name of Sagargad. Sagargad is also called by its other name, Khedadurg. In the past, this fort was used to keep a watch on Alibaug sea coast and Dharamtar Creek. Although it is named Sagargad, which literally translates to a sea fort, this fort is on land 5 miles away from the coast. The usual route to the top of the fort begins from village Khandare at the foothills. There is another route which begins from village Waghode. We decided to explore this relatively unexplored route and began our trek. The trail goes through the forest which surrounds the fort. Here we can see some dilapidated structures. Today we cannot exactly tell what these structures are and whom they belong to in the past. But from these structures we can certainly tell that people used to live here. This fort was very much in use in the past. We can see the main entrance of fort here. But due to lack of maintenance, there are a lot of trees which have grown there, and it is almost impossible to enter the fort from that part. These structures on the fort do carry some significance. There might be a courtroom here on the fort, or they might be the bungalows of the head of the fort, called as Killedar in Marathi. It is difficult now to tell what exactly they might have been due to its poor condition. In 1818 AD, when Anglo-Maratha War broke out, the Britishers destroyed all these structures after defeating the Marathas. Since then, mainly due to the lack of interest, these structures on this fort, as well as many other forts in Maharashtra, have remained in such dilapidated state. But there are some organizations now which carry out some restoration work. These people do important work of putting boats at different places, clean the water tanks on the forts, clear the unnecessary plants and weeds that grow inside the walls of the fort. They do all kinds of such important work. We can see mesmerizing landscape scenery from the top of the fort. It is impossible to capture this beauty in the lens of the camera. We have to visit and see it for ourselves. While on trek to the fort, we come across numerous streams of water. The streams are accompanied by the cool breeze flowing everywhere on the fort. On the fort, there is a temple of Lord Shiva. Here, one can rest and relax for a while. Close to the temple is a water tank. Here, water flows from a spout which resembles the shape of a cow's head. In Marathi language, this is called Gomukha. This water is fit for drinking. There is a huge plateau on top of the fort. Going ahead from here, a conical shaped outshoot of the mountain catches one's eyes. This point is called Vanarlingi Tok, which literally translates to the point of a monkey. there is a statue of Shivaji Maharaj on the fort. In the Treaty of Purandar, Shivaji Maharaj handed over the fort to the Mughals. But after his mesmerizing escape from Agra, Shivaji Maharaj recaptured the fort. After paying our respects to the great king, we move ahead to the main fort area. Termed as Bale Killa in Marathi, the main fort area of this fort is in a dilapidated state. One can only wonder the magnificent structures that would have stood here in the past. From the fort, one can see the sea forts of Khanderi and Underi. A little south of that, we can see the sea fort of Korlai. On the other side of the fort, we can see smoke coming from factories nearby. Industrialization and economic progress is important, but we should be careful that we do not harm the nature in this process. While on the route back, there is a beautiful waterfall. After enjoying the waterfall, we have to cross numerous water streams to reach the foothill village. While trekking, we should always respect the nature. Nature is beautiful and marvelous, but if humans cross their limit, it can be very destructive. Along with that, it is important for us to preserve our historical monuments. In foreign countries, even small symbols of historic importance are carefully preserved and maintained. On the other hand, we have two extremes. One who are extremely hyped about history and engaged in controversies. Another who simply don't care about it. In all this, research and study of history, along with the maintenance of historical monuments, remains essential. We have to remember that the nation that forgets its history has no future.